Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Fossil Games, and welcome back to Fossilfelde in City Skylines. And can I just start off by saying, holy smokes, someone's doing a lot of laundry. Right next to the multiple Sally's Diners locations, of course. I mean, everyone who's doing laundry is crossing the street to eat at Sally's. You can't have one without the other. That's obviously how this works. Yeah, the game does sort of funny stuff like that sometimes, and you know what? I like it though. It sort of adds an extra little bit of humor, and that's like right in our downtown area. Love it. Anyway, we're looking pretty good here so far. I know we took a little bit of a detour a couple of days ago, and we started to look at a modded city that I've been working on, and I wanted to just sort of show off. Um, but today we're back in Fossilfelde for episode 4. Um, Last time we unlocked a new milestone, and we got some cool things to play around with. Mostly beautification. We already put down a couple of the important things that we sort of needed to get down right away, um, or I can't say it's that urgent, but we got down to high school since that's something that really provides something of value, something you need to have in your city, right? Everything else here is not uh, quite as urgent, but there is lots of things that we can start to play around with and have a little bit of fun with and really start making things look a little bit better. Like this would be a little bit more of an enjoyable place to live. So we want to do a little bit of beautification, make things look a little bit more welcoming. And then my other idea here, I can see that we're starting to have some more commercial demand, and so my thought is maybe to try to make more use of these zoning squares here, right? Fill this in with a couple of buildings. But I also want to have some kind of commercial zone running down here that's going to separate these homes from the industrial zone. And I want to, in general, just sort of connect up this area to the road grid, to the layout that we have going here. And then, you know, of course, expand as necessary, right? Head towards that next milestone. So yeah, I'm actually gonna just go ahead and run the game, and we're gonna start doing a little bit of beautification here. First things first. This is the first time we have access to pathways of any kind, and you know, I mean, at this stage of the city, it's not very crucial, and there's not really that much you can actually do, right? But I can see a couple of little places here that would just sort of increase walkability in this area, and besides that, give us a chance to build more of a story here around what we're building, right? And so here, for example, it would make sense to me that as this is an open field essentially, right, that you would have people walking through the field to meet up with this road here, right? And so I'm gonna just put down a dirt path like that, or I guess it's gravel, right? But that it sort of makes it look like, hey, here, see, people are already using it, and that sort of makes it look like, you know, people just sort of created this path naturally through walking this way, right? Rather than putting down a concrete path, which makes it look a little bit more planned out. So that's one little spot we can do that. I think maybe also here we can connect up our wealthier neighborhood here. And maybe we even connect them up this way, right? And that makes it easier for them to just walk on down to the commercial area here. Eventually, especially if the roads start getting clogged, we can start thinking about putting up a dedicated walking path to get to the industrial zone. But you know, you can see people walking across this bridge here, so it's not like super. That's not super critical at the moment. And yeah, I think those were the main two places that I wanted to put that in there. And then we want to do a little bit of decoration around them, right? Make them look like they belong here a little bit. So the big thing here is that I want to, I think the real principle about when you're putting down trees and any kind of foliage, right, is to match the trees that are naturally present on the map that you're playing on. And then have another couple of trees that you really like and reserve where you can put down in places where, you know, it's totally okay, where it would be, where it would totally make sense that someone has planted those trees on purpose, right? But anywhere where you want a little bit more of a wild look, you want to take some of these trees that are already present on the map. And in terms of the amount, you know, my principle is just to play it by ear. Depends on the place, depends on the map, depends on what you're really going for, you know? And because if you really want to make things feel like you're in the middle of a forest, right, you can just absolutely cover the terrain in trees. That's not necessarily what I'm going for here, because we can see that there are trees here, right, naturally, but this isn't necessarily a super dense forest, right? And then maybe we could find another of these, a few more of these trees that are sort of naturally present and mix those in there as well. I can see that already sort of creates a much more realistic look. Right, and then we can sort of phase it out a little bit as we hit the highway back here. Right, so you don't have quite as many trees here, but still get a little sort of this sort of being the border of this sort of more forested area, right? It sort of tails away here, maybe partly because of the pollution of the industrial zone. Some of these trees and things have died, so you're not going to have quite as many over there. Some of these are going to end up going away, right, as we zone commercial over here, but still just for a sense of realism. And then one thing I think really gets looked over are these extra little vegetation is what they call them in the game. These extra little pieces of vegetation. I love these, right? I mean, this is sort of like extra detailing, right? If you really want to get down into the nitty-gritty of things. But I love tucking these away into little corners against buildings. Let me see if I can find a good spot to show you guys, for example. Okay, so right here, this is probably not right. You're right next to a parking lot, since and the back of these buildings. So this probably isn't like the best maintained spot in the city, right? So you might have some of this vegetation sort of coming and growing over the concrete, even coming close to these buildings. And then sort of anywhere that you've got trees, you can put sort of a smattering of these looser ones, or these more spread out ones, I should say. I think that makes more sense than saying looser, right? And this sort of gives the effect of, because these are a little bit more sparse than the other ones that I was using at the beginning, this sort of gives the effect of leaf piles under the trees. Something like it anyway. It's not perfect, but it can be used to add a little bit of something to the game. Right? And I think, you know, the more wild an area is, the more heavy vegetation you're going to have back here, right? So this, you probably don't get a lot of people coming back here heading towards the highway, right? So this is going to be pretty overgrown. But, you know, maybe back here towards the houses, somebody's come back and trimmed it a little bit. Oh, this is right behind a fence, right? So you probably got some more growing back here. Yeah, it takes, it's not very complicated, but, you know, it takes a little bit of thought about what that place in real life might actually look like, right? And what you could actually find there. Oh, get a little bit more of some trees in there. And then, yeah, I'm not going to bother too much with the trees over in the industrial zone. Over here, I'm actually going to look at putting down putting down some rocks. Don't want to go too crazy, especially not with these larger ones, right? We can take a few of these, make them seem like, you know, they sort of fit together in a way, right? And then you can take these smaller rocks really and just sort of put a smattering of those all over the place. Don't forget to try to turn them every once in a while, so you get more of a diverse look. And then the really cool thing about this vegetation stuff is that this is by far the best way in the vanilla game to get some greenery around your industrial zones. Right? You don't want to put the trees because they, let's see, you can see this tree here, right? It's sort of, because of the pollution, it doesn't have all its leaves and stuff. It looks really ugly. It looks out of place. It looks like the tree is dying, right? It probably should have died already. And therefore, it's not going to be standing there forever. But this vegetation does not have this problem. So you can actually use this. It's a pretty cool effect here. And you can even sort of, so I'm putting it around the rocks to make the rocks fit into the scenery here a little bit more naturally. And then I'm using some of the lighter vegetation to just sort of phase out the really heavy bits, right? There, I think that gives it a little bit more a realistic touch. Let's put a bit more of a smattering of that in here. And then we don't really have any space in between our industrial buildings right now, but if we had some, we could stick these sort of in between. Oh, it's kind of getting dark here. Nah, that's not gonna work. You're gonna have foliage all over the wood piles and stuff. That's no good. But I like to stick those in between the industrial buildings sometimes, and create the impression that there's some of those parking lots and back spaces in the industrial zone that just aren't that well maintained, right? Okay, so I think that pretty much does it for the plants that we wanted to put in there. Let's take a look, not at that. Let's take a look at everything else we unlocked. I can't remember if we checked our policies or not, but I don't think there's anything else here that we really want to implement citywide. We're not having serious power issues yet. When we do start to have them, I will think about, we could think about starting trying to implement the power usage, but I've been tinkering around with that in some of my other plays on my free time, and it definitely makes your budget take a hit, and so we'll have to, if we do that, we'll have to monitor the budget a little bit closer. Not that's a bad thing, but it is something to think about. Let's see. We could put in a park area, right? I've kind of been saying that I want to create one around this big rock zone here. That's sort of the long-term goal anyway. But I think I'm going to wait actually until, and maybe we'll dedicate even a whole episode to just building up that park there until we kind of have these streets back and connecting around the other side. Industrial zones, industrial areas we don't have anything to do with quite yet. These are all park paths. Okay, we got industrial roads, right? This is actually going to help us save a little bit of money. And that's just by upgrading all these roads in the industrial zone into these industrial roads, right? It's more or less the same effect. I believe they just create a little bit more noise, is what it is. That's the big difference. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, certainly in the industrial zone, that's perfectly okay. No, I can't even do it there if I wanted to. And then, yeah, we can connect these roads. So besides having the effect, they're a little bit cheaper and easier on your budget, right? They also um, just look better in your industrial zone, right? They make things look a little bit more industrial, not as clean, not as well polished, right? And that sort of adds character, I think, to the city. Yeah, we're not going to mess too much with canals. We do have some fencing here. I'm not going to mess around with this too much because that's where things can get really. That's where you can sort of get lost in detailing, right? And I don't want to go too far overboard. But I will show you just sort of for the effect, for curiosity's sake. I will show you sort of an example of what you can do. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to get that right, am I? I'll show you an example of what we can do with these fences to give things a slightly more realistic feel. Right? And so just by putting this fence along the back of these industrial buildings, we can give them the feel that they're a little bit zoned off. I'm going to show you again once it's daylight because you can't see anything right here, can you? But you can see what I'm going for at least. That it sort of gives the idea that these are sort of zoned off. That this is sort of, a bit more of a wild area, right? So I might do a little bit more of that finer detailing off camera and show you guys next episode. But that is, in principle, sort of what you can do with the fencing to give your city a little bit more life. There are even people who go around and put fencing around each house, like around each individual house to create backyards and things like that. I'm not going to go that much into detail. Certainly not during an actual video. I might make some examples to show you guys off camera though. All right, we can think about putting in maybe just one of these, a couple of these little parks for fun. And I think that'll make our people happy with us, right? So let's think about this a little bit. Where would be good to have some kind of little park? Oh, we already got a commercial building that's leveled up. All right, well that's cool. That's encouraging. Let's reduce the taxes on them. So let's see, where can we put this? Where can we put some kind of little park? What do you guys think? We've already got the basketball court over there. We could actually just put some sort of little plaza inside here. That could be nice. That could be very nice. Why don't we look at doing that? Where are our plazas? We got two right here. We got a plaza with trees and a plaza with picnic tables. I think we're going to go for the plaza with trees. Looks like it'll fit in here a little bit better. Don't think it's going to fit quite in that zone. Let me see if I can get this right. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go just... I think we're going to have to make the road just sort of past the middle point there. Maybe even here. And on one hand, that is sort of squeezing us a little bit here in terms of putting these intersections close to one another. But I think it's still going to be okay. You know what? We can actually put this road back one more. So I'm going to do that real quick. Real easy fix. Right? Run that road right in there. Where's our park? Where's our plaza? Oh, and of course this doesn't center exactly. But I think that looks good. Okay. So there you go. Then you get this nice little plaza in here. And so the thing is, I don't think we're going to get a lot of people driving on this street. We're going to get some parking here. And so I don't think it's too big of a problem to add in this extra intersection. Let's make sure this is all zoned up. And then, you know what? We'll leave this. We'll leave this spot. No, we won't. Forget that. We are zoning that. And then maybe if we got a little bit of space back here, we'll stick in a couple of trees. Just to make it that much prettier. Well, look, we can even squeeze in a couple. You can't even see it, right? There's no real break in the graphics between the concrete here from the store and the little park. We can sort of squeeze in a couple little trees here. Sort of blend things in even more. And so I think we'll go for one more right back here. And yeah. There. Now we got a nice little... oh, for a second I almost thought we tore down all our coin laundry shops. We can't do that, right? I think people come from miles around to visit coin laundry. They must, otherwise there wouldn't be 3 of them. So yeah, now we have this nice little plaza area in the middle of the commercial zone. And yeah, I think that adds something there. Gives a little, nice little feeling. And then the other thing I think we want to put down is not like a big extravagant park. I think we just want to go for a dog park. Let's just put down a dog park over here, right? And the people living back here, they're likely to have some pets. Yeah, I actually kind of like the idea. Put it back in this zone. Let's try to take out as few houses as we possibly can. There you go. Isn't that nice? See, and then you're going to get houses leveling up, we're going to make more money, and everybody's happy. Okay. Let's see for a second if there's anything else we can do real quick. There's the park maintenance, but I don't think we want to get there right now. That's a massive building, by the way, so it's going to kind of look out of place if we throw it down in the middle of what we got right now. And... you know what? I think we're good for now with what we've got. Right? I mean, public library, maybe. But I think we'll save that, sort of find more of a dedicated spot for that. Oh, wow! Hey, what is this? I've never seen this building before, have I? Is that new? Whatever it is, that looks fantastic, especially right next to the plaza. You get all these extra parking zones. Love it. Yeah, that's really great. And imagine you're going to high school here, yeah. After school, you come out with your buddies. You don't even want to go home unless you come hang out in the plaza, skate around, annoy all the old people. You know how it is. Yeah, I think that looks fantastic. This whole little area right here. We got, you know, the concrete feel that it's really well filled in, but then we also get these trees in the little plaza area. I think that's great. All right. So now let's see how we're gonna fill this in. And I think we're not gonna do anything too complicated over here. I think my idea is more or less just to come this way. And, well, doesn't that connect beautifully? But I think I'm gonna come from this. No. It's gonna look the same either way, isn't it? You know what? That's not bad. I like it. We're gonna connect it up that way. And Oh, you know what? We can just do that. We can make that a straight shot as well. So let's just do that. Cool. That creates a little bit of a different shape um, that I actually like a lot. Uh-oh. Well, this is where it gets. This is where I'm so determined to get the water pipes right under the roads, but it gets so tricky with the curved roads. Sometimes I feel like, what are you doing? Just throw down the pipes and forget about it. But what can I say? I'm a player of principle. All right, we could throw down some commercial in that whole area, and then let's back it up with a little bit of residential. And then I think what we do is even zone sort of this side of this cube as commercial. And it looks like we also have a bit of industrial demand, so why don't we start filling this in? I'm only going to go this far for now, so that we don't just get a whole string of buildings that are just the little 2x2s. Once we buy this next tile over, which we'll do eventually, we can. Well, let's see when we get to that, right? But hopefully we'll be preparing to move this industrial zone somewhere else and replace it with something else altogether. But we do have the potential to expand out in this direction. Okay. Garbage is doing all right. Let's see where we are till our next milestone. Okay, not too far, not too far. So I think what we need now is just basic expansion, and we're gonna head off in this direction, right? I think the sort of my guiding principle here is to complete the loop around where we want to have the park. I think I want that to come out even as far as this. My vision is to really have this be quite a large park, right? And to have this rocky outcrop sort of at the back of it, right? And have all of this as more sort of open space. Okay, we got a little bit of electricity demand here to take care of. Let's go into our budget. We're at 90%, right? So we can bump that up to 100, and that should take care of it for now. No problemo. And there's definitely going to be some residential zones over here, and then we might later come along and have a road that comes along the coast that's going to be more of like a commercial zone of buildings, right? As a place that like people would want to go out and visit, right? As they, to have a day out. And so naturally that's where shops would pop up and things. This is going to be residential. The problem is I don't know how gritty I really want to make it. This, by the way, is going to have to change. I can see that right now. We're going to change that. And the problem is, it's not really a problem, right? But the reason I want to change it is because I basically just following the rules of symmetry, right? I want to be able to follow the lines of the highway. So we'll go out there, and then eventually we're going to curve it around. For now, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, let's pause it because we're going to take out these electrical lines, I think. This can simply continue straight on into there. I might not even connect that up itself just yet. Let's go ahead and run this in that direction. You can have a few grids, right? A few grids are okay. Okay, let's actually dark with this curve, just a little bit. See if we can get it to there. Okay. I'm gonna want to curve this road in to meet the other one. So I'm gonna bring it up to there, and then curve it in that way. Awesome. Okay, so you can see just like that, we got a little bit more residential zoning to work with. Let's go ahead and fix these pipes here before we wrap it up. Oh, these tricky water pipes. What's the best way to go around about this? Okay, there we go. That'll work. And then we need to get back up there. Let's look at our electricity. And I think we're just going to basically put this back in, right? Essentially where it was. And it'll take away a few zoning squares, but that's okay for now. We'll bump it back as soon as we can. And we can run the game again. And basically just fill this all out with residential. This will give us lots of expansion as we sort of head towards that next milestone. And that should also give us lots of demand for other things. I might also, once I can run a road back here that is going to sort of close off the back end of the park that I want to create, then I think that road will also mostly be a commercial zone. And then it'll just be these sides that really connect with the park as residential zones. Oh my goodness, we're losing people. How did that happen? All right. Well, I think we're about to call it quits here. Maybe I'll keep talking for a minute and see if we can hit that milestone just before we hang it up. But what do you guys think of the city so far? You liking it? You got any ideas of your own? Oop, fires, trash. Wait, let me check on the trash real quick. Oh yeah, we still got, I don't even know why they're complaining. Why are they complaining when there's 3 trucks that aren't in use? That really grinds my gears, you know? All right, good to know our fire station's working. So yeah, you guys got any ideas of your own, things you'd like to see, things you'd like me to try out? If you have any questions about how Vanilla Skylines works, let me know. Heck, if you'd like some mod recommendations, I can even do that for you. Just hit me up. Let me know what you want to talk about in the comments below. And I'm looking forward to expanding this further. You know what I'm really looking forward to is seeing our first natural disaster, getting the chance to sort of build around whatever damage that creates, right? That's gonna be fun. So yeah, as the sun sets here, as we head into the nighttime, I think we're gonna hang it up and say we can look forward to episode number 5. 5 will be the next one, right? Yeah, we're 4 episodes in. All right, guys, thanks for joining me for episode 4, and I will see you next week with number 5. See you later. Bye-bye.